University program in Pflugerville. So the community got together, opened up 2 schools in Pflugerville, paying for it themselves. And it was so successful the first year that they opened up the 3 more schools. So we have a total of 5, all 5 middle schools in Pflugerville. And that's kind of where we're heading with our program, is getting a community involved. And like I say, we have kids. I had one young Hispanic boy got a full scholarship to MIT. You know, a lot of our kids have graduated from high school, valedictorians, because once they start believing in themselves, Alex, then the world's the limit for them. I mean, they can do anything they want to do, and it's been proven with our program. You know, the martial arts is a great tool. It turned my life around, Alex. I was an insecure, non-athletic kid when I got involved in the martial arts when I went to Korea, and it just turned my whole life around. It raised my self-esteem and instilled that discipline and respect that I was lacking at that time. And so I know it does work, and like I say, that's my goal, and it's my wife, Jean, and my wife's passion is to implement Kickstart all over the country one day.
Well, it's beautiful what you're doing. And also, you've got the official Chuck Norris Fact book, a new edition out on that, a perfect stocking stuffer, available all over better bookstores everywhere and at Amazon.com. And also, I know a lot of the books and products you sell, you end up giving a lot of the proceeds also to Kickstart.
Well, all the proceeds from anything I do outside my entertainment world goes straight to our Kickstart Foundation. You know, funny about this fact thing, this started about 4 years ago. I started getting these facts on my email, you know, a few of them, and I'm reading them and thinking, oh, hey, I said, these are funny, you know, but not expecting them to go anywhere. And then all of a sudden the college kids picked up on the facts, and it became a phenomenon in the universities and colleges. Then it filtered down to the high schools and the middle schools, and then it went global. Then it started going all over the world. Then the military picked up on it. And I got a call from the commander in Iraq, and he said, Chuck, these Chuck Norris facts are driving me crazy over here. All the troops want you to come over and visit with them. So, you know, I did 2 trips to Iraq.
Chuck, do us a favor. Give us some Chuck Norris facts.
Well, you know, Chuck Norris was bit by a cobra, and after 5 excruciating days, the cobra died. You know, in fact, that's the first one in the book, and I kind of I have the facts in the book, and then I tell stories behind it. And the story on that particular fact is that when I was filming Walker, Texas Ranger, I was doing a scene on the set and with a rattlesnake, and the thing bit me. And I talk about the story of this thing, how I picked him up the first time and I got him good. Second time I tried and he nailed me, and you know, and what went on after that. So it's some pretty interesting stories that follow the fact there. And like you say, it's good, you know, Christmas talk type book.
Chuck, please give us a few more Chuck Norris facts from the man.
Well, they wanted to put Chuck Norris on Mount Rushmore, but the granite wasn't tough enough for his beard.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
In fact, you know, when I'm writing these, Alex, you know, my 8-year-old twins are coming up as I'm trying to find there's 600,000 facts out there. So I'm trying to find 101 of my favorite facts. So I'm looking through these all these facts, trying to find the ones that I think are the funniest.
What's your favorite?
Oh, golly. Actually, my favorite one is one that my 8-year-old son, came up with. He was, you know, he says, you know, Chuck Norris eats bullets for breakfast. Watch out when he burps.
Do you know who started the Chuck Norris facts? Because
some college kid back east, and then but he just started a few of them. Then all of a sudden, everybody.
What's the one about water? Because I mean, everywhere I go, I hear people doing Chuck Norris facts.
I know. When I was in Iraq, shaking hands with these troops, I shook hands with 27,000 troops over there and took pictures with all of them. And they'd walk up to me and say, they'd tell me a Chuck Norris fact, and they'd start laughing. And then they said, what's your favorite? And I'm thinking, golly, I don't know. So when I got back home, I said, maybe I should write, put one out that, to kind of comes up with my favorite ones. Because, you know, after writing Black Belt Patriotism, and now I've got the addition to that book coming out next month. It's nice to write a book where you can kind of laugh about it rather than dealing with all the...
Well, I definitely want to get you on next month, and maybe I can twist your arm for an extended interview because we're running out of time. We only got 15 minutes left. Chuck Norris is our guest, but I'm very excited about that second book. I love the last one, The Black Belt Patriotism. Now, Chuck, moving quick here. Specifically, government-run health care. They want us to be dependent. Medicare, Medicaid cuts, $41 billion out of Medicare alone, but they're going to put more people in Medicare, and it looks like it's going to pass. Ron Paul was on this Friday. He said, unfortunately, looks like it's probably going to pass.
Well, let it pass, and then believe me, everyone that puts their mark on that health care bill, we've got to get them out of office next year. That's going to be my campaign. I write weekly articles for WorldNet Daily, and I'm going to be hammering these guys. I'm going to be going after each and every one of them that passed this health care bill. Just think about this, Alex. Let's fix what is broken. Okay, 20% of the health care bill is broken, but leave the 80% alone. 80% of the people are happy with their health care. I'm happy with mine. So let's work on the 20% that isn't working. Rather than tearing it down. It reminds me, like if you have a flat on your car, right? But you decide to change all the tires and maybe put in a new motor, whether you need it or not. See, I believe that's what the government's thinking here.
Well, worse than that, they're going to take the motor out and fire machine gun bullets into it because it has a flat.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, and there's going to be a lot of hurting people because of this. And that's where my heart goes out. My heart goes out to the people that are going to be suffering from this.
Well, we're also, as you were saying to me during the break, we're also bankrupt, and it is in there to give the illegals health care. I mean, we can't take 20, 30 million people and give them free health care. I mean, we're going bankrupt.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, I think the biggest mistake government made is using all this stimulus money to shore up AIG, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, banks, cars, and all this stuff here. They should have been using all that stimulus money to shore up small business, so they can begin hiring back their employees. Our country survives on 80% of small business.
Yes.
80% of our economy, and so why in the world isn't the government? And of course, Obama's talking about it now, a year later. Well, I've got to help small business. Why didn't he start that, months and months ago if he had?
Well, let me throw this out at you, Chuck Norris.
Right now.
Sorry to interrupt. We just have limited time. If Ron Paul runs for president in the next year and a half, are you going to support him, or are you thinking about supporting him?
I love Ron Paul, but I have to be honest with you. I would like to have a younger president. When you get in your 70s, and I'm pushing 70, it's a tough grind. I would rather find someone like Ron Paul who can lead our country. And I'm still a Mike Huckabee fan. I really still believe that Mike Huckabee is the man to lead our country. And that's kind of the general consensus of the people in America. And I would love to have Ron Paul in a very prominent position in Washington, but not.
What kind of position, like Treasury Secretary?
Yeah, something like that. Something, because he's an honest man. Here's one of my favorite facts also is America's not a democracy; it's a Chucktatorship. and now, if that were true, Alex, I would go to Washington. I would line up every member of Congress, and I'd have Ron Paul, who I think is the most honest politician in Congress. I'd say, Ron, point out the honest and the dishonest politician. And we'd go down the aisle, and Ron would say, he's honest, this one's dishonest. I'd walk up to that person, and I'd say, you're fired. And if he didn't move immediately, I'd choke him unconscious and drag him home to the aisle.
Chuck Norris is our guest. Chuck, shifting out of healthcare, obviously I agree with you. It's very unpopular in the polls. It's unconstitutional. The federal government's not supposed to be involved in healthcare, and we need to have recalls of these people, and we need to repeal it if they do pass it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's, the thing is, it's going to be a very trying 3 more years with the Obama administration. This is just the tip of the iceberg with this health care. This is just the beginning. If they pass this, then it's going to embolden them to pass a lot of other very devastating bills, such as cap and trade and a lot of the other things that's going to really negatively affect our country.
Chuck Norris, since you brought that up, I have the headline here: EPA threatens command and control economy to push climate change agenda. and that was in Associated Press. Another headline was Obama threatens command and control. He's saying if the Senate doesn't ratify